Hi all, welcome to my channel. This is a beginner level exercise on step functions. I had already created another video on step functions where I explained what is step functions and I explained the structure of ASL program or Amazon States Language program. I'll give the link in the description. In this video, I'll show you how you can use step functions for copying an S3 object from one bucket to another bucket. As I said, it's a beginner level exercise. Okay, let's begin. So we are in AWS step functions console. So the first step we have to do is to create a state machine, because we are going to create a state machine which will help us in copying an object from one S3 bucket to another S3 bucket. Okay, click on state machines, click on create state machine. So here there are several templates provided for various purposes. You can go over some of these templates, but we are not going to use any of those templates. We'll start with a blank template. Select. Now we have to design the state machine. If you have the code directly, you can go to code and then copy and paste the code, but we are not doing that. We will use a graphics based design itself. So as the first step, I just want to introduce some wait time of 5 seconds. That is not really required, but we are just trying to learn, right? So I will introduce a wait time of 5 seconds. So after you drag and drop that flow item to your design, on the right side you can update the timer in seconds, etc. Right now it is 5 seconds. I don't want to change that. Now what next I want to do? I want to introduce a create S3 object state after this wait state. So how do I do that? I can just search here S3. So all the S3 related actions will appear here. So come down, you can see copy object, not create object, copy object. So select that and then drag and drop here. Yes. Now what we need to do is, from where are you copying and to which S3 bucket you are copying, we need to specify that. How do you specify that? On the right side, you have all the configuration details. State name is copy object, and if you go to definition, you will see the corresponding code. You can see that bucket name is my data, copy source is my data, the key or object name is also my data. So we need to update these values. So click on code. So that will come on the left side and you can edit it. And here I want to change this is the target bucket name. So I want to put it as Yunus output bucket. I have created a bucket called Yunus output bucket. And copy source, you have to specify which bucket and which file name. So I'm going to copy paste the bucket name and file name. So I have a bucket called origin bucket 111 and there is a logo diagram, AWS logo, aws2.png. I will just show you that. Here is my origin bucket 111 and you can see aws2.png, which is the logo. And I want to copy it to Yunus output bucket. Here there are 4 objects, but aws2.png is not existing. So go back to step functions. So this is the target bucket and this is the source. And what is the file name I want to use? I will give the same aws2.png. That will be the target file name. So this is ready now. What I can do is I can create the state machine. Okay. Now, when you want to copy, if step function need to be able to copy file to an S3 bucket, it needs the permissions. I haven't given the permissions yet. Okay, I haven't given the permissions yet. So let us see what will happen if I execute this. So I have confirmed it. So the state machine is ready. I can execute it and it will fail because it doesn't have the permissions. Anyway, let us see what happens. So it is asking if there is any input. No, I don't need any input. So start, and you can see start wait. It is still waiting in that 5 seconds period. It is waiting. And copy object, you can see that it failed. Why it failed? You can come up and then see this, and it says you can read through it, but basically it says it is not authorized to perform that S3 read and S3 write operations. You need to assign the proper role to this particular step function. So how do you do that? That is the next question. So just go back to the state machine, and once you reach the state machine, click on edit. You can minimize this part left side. Here go to actions and click on view state machine configuration. So this is the configuration. Come down here, permissions. So you can see that it has already created a role, but it doesn't have the S3 permissions. So what do? I select the same role here, which appears here, select it and click on view in IAM. Okay. Now you can see that it has only X-ray related permission. I want to add S3 full access. To make it easy, I want to add S3 full permission. So just click on add permission, attach policies. Here search for S3 full and you will see S3 full access. By the way, the best practice is to provide only least privilege access. You don't need to give S3 full access. You need to give only that read and write access. But right now, to keep things simple, I am giving S3 full access, add permissions. Okay, so the permission is given. Now what you can do is go back here. Now everything is perfect. Execute it once again. Go back to your state machines. So this is my state machine. Select that and say start execution. So this time what should happen is it should succeed. That is first thing. And the aws2.png file, which was not there in output bucket, it should be copied into this bucket. So click on start execution and come down and see the progress. See, it is in wait state. Copy object should, now it is successful. So now if you go to output bucket, earlier only 4 objects were there. If I refresh, aws2.png also should appear here. You can see on January 26, 818. Just now it got copied. And just one more thing I'll show you and then close this video. If you come down from this, you will be able to see the various stages, right? You can see, and especially if there is any failures, you will be able to see, okay, what is a failure, etc. So here it actually explains what happened, step-by-step process, what happened in this step function execution. And if you go to state machine again, and if you come down, you can see the list of executions which happened. 2 executions happened and first one failed and second one succeeded. If you click on the failed one, it will give the reason, cause, etc. And here it will actually show you which step actually failed. So it actually shows you why it failed, etc., which you can investigate in a normal scenario. Okay, that's it about this beginner level exercise. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope it was useful. I'll come back with more similar useful AWS hands-on exercises and explanation videos. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Bye.